Alright, gentlemen, Terrence Popp here with another episode from the Lair. This is actually a response piece to an article, and I want to thank whoever forwarded this to me. I think I received it 4 or 5 different times. You guys are on the ball, and you are absolutely correct in sending me this. And this is basically came out on one of the UK publications. It's basically it's called Shortage of Eligible Men Has Left Women Taking Desperate Steps to Preserve Their Fertility, Experts Say. Alright, so this is basically it. I'm going to try to upload this and have it in the links description, the PDF with actually my notes on it, because I read through this and I was at work when I did, and I had to stop because I was laughing my fucking balls off. I've covered a lot of this already in many of my videos. You know, like the fun with numbers, I think it's 1 and 2, rules of the game, and then I hit on that one where that woman, she was in her 40s, early 40s, had twins, and how much money it wound up costing her and her insurance company to have those kids. And yeah, I just want to, you know, I just couldn't. I just had to, you know, weigh on this, and it's not worth doing a full episode on because it's basically 3 pages, and but goddamn, I mean, this is typical shit right here. Somebody sent me a link to something that's going on in Tennessee here in the United States. How they set aside a bunch of taxpayer money to study the effect on porn and marriage. And again, you know, this is classic feminism attacking symptoms, not pointing the fingers at themselves and saying this could be the cause. Experts said terrifying demographic shifts have created a deficit of educated men and a growing problem of leftover, quote-unquote, professional women, with female graduates vastly outnumbering males in many countries, to include America. And they're talking about England, but, you know, basically the statistics, what's going on over there and what's going on over here are pretty close, and they're slightly higher in Canada in regards to certain subjects. When I read this article, you know, the subject hit my mind, which is basically what happens when the women run out of places to monkey branch to, and basically, you know, these women who are basically hit the wall, they're in their 3rd fertility window, and it's all over. They're basically spending a lot of money freezing eggs and what have you. It doesn't matter, you know, when you freeze your eggs. If the sandwich bag you grow them in is fucked up, it's a dead stick. That's all I can say. Better find a younger woman who's on her game to grow your fucking cunt bags for you, because it's all over for you. And here's another stat I want to run by you, because I find this is really daunting here. Researchers found that more than 90% of cases, the women were attempting to buy extra time because they could not find a partner to settle down with amid the dearth of educated men. First of all, I don't have a care. I don't give 2 shits if these women want to say, you know, freeze their goddamn heads for all that matter. You know, as long as the taxpayer ain't paying for it, go right ahead. Like I said before, they could be the best eggs in the universe, but if the sandwich bag's fucked up, you're done. More shaming language. You know, basically they're saying experts said the research busts the myth that selfish career women were choosing their careers over fertility, and we're putting their so-called future children on ice. All right, so these women that are, you know, these educated women that have these great careers, they're basically stating that, you know, there are no men. Well, I've actually had this before with a couple of other single women who were in their late 30s, and they didn't like the truth I told them then, and they're probably not going to like the truth now. And I simply said this. I said, so you went to high school, right? You had to because you graduated college and got a graduate degree, right? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, okay, did you have a boyfriend in high school? And they're like, well, of course, you know, we're not gay. We had a boyfriend in high school. I'm like, okay. Did he use the word love with you at any time? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, okay, all right, let's move on. You know, what happened with that? And they're like, well, you know, I had to break up with him because I wanted to go to college. Okay. So you went to college. Did you date in college? In Latin? You know, they were like, yeah, we dated some in college. And did you have a boyfriend? And was it steady, serious? Did he use the L word on you? Yeah, it was pretty serious, but, you know, I wanted to go to graduate school. Okay. So they went to graduate school because everyone told them, you know, you become a lawyer, a physician assistant, doctor, whatever the hell you want to do, you will be happy. Well, they weren't happy, and they were bitching at me all the time. And now, this was back in the day when I was in my 20s, and I was just coming off of a fight, and I was busted up real bad, and, you know, bruised ribs, forearms were bruised to the bone, blocking kicks, cut over the eye, and I just wasn't feeling it. So I said, listen, ladies, you come in here and you complain all the time about these men that, you know, you don't have. Well, from what you told me, you had a man in high school who said he loved you, and you passed him up. And then you had one or two men in college who said they loved you, and you passed them up because you thought when you got to the end of the rainbow, when you got all this money, that there'd be all these men waiting around for you, and you would, like, smother yourself in happiness. Well, I'm here to tell you the bitter truth. You know, you only got so many bites at the apple, and you passed all yours up. It's over. All the low-hanging fruit is gone, and hell, you're too fat to climb the tree to get the good apples, so you have to deal with the apples that are on the ground, and some of them may or may not have been bit or have worms in them. Sorry, you did it to yourself. Well, both these women, like, cried, ran out, and the guy who owned the place was like, thanks a lot, Popp. One of them returned and never saw the other one again. Obviously, the truth hurts. Fuck them. I don't care. All right, now I'm going through here more in this article some more, and here's some more crazy-ass shit here. And this is from England, but it's very close. They're trying to downplay this, I think, to a certain degree, because they use stats from 85, which says 45% of the UK students in college were female, and then they go to 2000, they say 54% of them were female. So now we're over half in 2000. Well, that's almost 2 fucking decades ago, isn't it? We are now at the top of the tsunami, and it's going to come crashing down here. Okay, and they mention it right or indirectly, the monkey branching. This is how this group, now in their 30s, is finding it harder to find a man with equal status, fertility experts said. So, equal status, what is that telling me? They're monkey branching. They want something equal to them or better. That's how it works. But they're doing that when they're in the wall, and they don't have anything to swap for that, because dudes, by nature, we go for younger, more fertile women. And you could shame us, you could say whatever the fuck you want, but that's the case. And it is the case that women monkey branch because that's just their nature. So, you know, trying to get somebody to go against their nature, I think I've mentioned this before, that the scorpion will always sting the frog. Okay, so basically, the research presented at the European Society of Human Reproduction and Embryology Conference in Geneva, like they need to have that in Geneva, was based upon interviews with women from the United States, England, and Israel. Let's see, but the lead author said similar trends were likely in the UK. No, they are likely. You know, they are, and it's not likely, they are. Because this is going on all over the Western world to a certain degree, where women are 35% more likely than men to go to the university. All right. And why is that? Because the system we have now is favoring women, punishing boys for being boys, medicating them, tell them it's toxic masculinity, and, you know, the culture's turned against fucking men. And in my opinion, if you have a culture that is weaponizing and one sex and turning the other sex into the villain, in my opinion, that culture and that society doesn't deserve to exist, because a house divided will never stand. It's written in the Bible. It is what it is. Marcia Inhorn, professor of anthropology at Yale University, said professional women found themselves losing out in the game of quote-unquote musical chairs because there's simply too few men to go around of their same caliber. So there's basically too few men for them to monkey branch to. And they won't go down because it's their nature. Now, I'm going to give a word of warning to you men out there. Women always do this. They always look for the better deal, either equal or better, okay? So if you're with a woman and she makes as much money as you or more, be prepared to be replaced. Or at best, they'll take you on, they'll marry you, or they'll have the kids that, you know, they want, and then they're going to jettison you like yesterday's fucking garbage. Why? Because they can say 3 simple words: I'm not happy, pay me till the kids are 18 or to 26, depending upon the state you're in. So, yeah, don't even fall for this bullshit. Men, I'm telling you right now, if you have a woman that makes as much money as you or close to what you're making or more, you are fucking expendable and disposable. Accept it now. Okay, she goes on to say there is a major gap. There are literally missing men. There's not enough college graduated men to go around. In simple terms, there's an oversupply of educated women. Well, no shit. I think men have brought this up. The MRAs have brought this up. I think it was like 30 years now, you know, in regards to that. And then 50 years for the fucking fucked up shit in court where you don't get to see your fucking kids. Or you get turned from a parent into a visitor, but called a parent by name only, because 4 hours a month a father does not make. That's a whole other issue. Let's see. China calls them leftover women. Listen, I don't give a fuck about China, okay? I don't give a fuck about them. I don't even give a fuck about Europe. I only give a fuck about America. America's great. Let's see. The former president of the Society of Medical Anthropology said the women interviewed in the study were highly successful, with 81% having college degrees. Great! And they'll fall out of the goddamn gene pool, and we won't have to worry about them in the future. And they did it to themselves. You gotta love the picture here. There's the egg with the artificial insemination. Yeah. Fuck that. See, the anthropologist suggested some women might need to be prepared to compromise some of their standards in order to find love. What she's trying to tell you here is they will lower their standards to have children with you, and then they will cut you the fuck away because they want something equal or better than them. Period. But she also suggested that society should act to increase the number of men going into higher education. My response is the ship has already sailed. How do you unfuck that imbalance? You can't. Alright, first of all, there is no benefit to get married. Period. Maybe you'll live longer to be a slave. Alright? Men are portrayed as the villains. The feminists are saying all men are potential rapists. They bitch about pay, even though, you know, the women bitch about pay, even though men make up, 93% of all workforce fucking deaths. Okay? I mean, fuck, dude. There is no benefit. You get married, you're on the hook for child support for 18 to 26 years, depending upon the state you live in, and you may or may not have to pay the bitch alimony for the rest of your fucking life. So what is the upside on this? The house is rigged, the culture hates you, makes you look like an idiot. There is no benefit other than to work and live for yourself. Don't even buy into the fucking program, because when enough people walk away from the system and say, fuck it, I'm not going to fucking support it with my tax dollars, I'm not going to support it with my money, and I'm certainly not going to support it with my children. So, and what'll happen then? It'll be a bloodbath, which they so richly fucking deserve. It may be, here we go, I love this. Oh, like it's a suggestion. It might be about rethinking the way we approach this, she said. Fuck you. Again, we're bringing up there, most women who are educated would like to have an educated partner. Traditionally, women have always wanted to, quote-unquote, marry up or go to someone more successful or financially well off. What she's basically saying there is bitches like to monkey branch, and it's in their nature. And it's biting them in the ass. they're trying to word it differently, but they're basically saying have kids with men that you that are not equal to you in status or pay, and then get rid of them. Some women are paying a high price for feminism, she suggested. Well, most women are paying a high price for feminism, and that's not a suggestion. Oh my God, this is just pissing me off. Let's see. As a feminist, I think it's great that women are doing so well, but I think there has been a cost that has been paid, she said, warning that many had been left in sadness and isolation. Crazy Cat Lady Starter Kit, can you get one? You're gonna love this here. In some cases, women taking part in the in-depth interview said they would be happy to be in a relationship with someone less educated, but felt that they were intimidating to the men who were available, because men know the game. They know they're expendable and disposable, and they're not gonna fucking play. Sorry. They're taking their toys and they're fucking leaving the playground, and you can fuck off. Better learn how to team up with somebody of your own sex, or play solitaire and pet your cats. Okay, this can be mean, but this needs to be said because it's true. Okay, researchers said that until now, many commenters on egg freezing said that it was driven by a desire to preserve fertility while raising up the career ladder. Good, I'm glad they're doing this. You want to know why? Because I welcome them having the long, very unfulfilling, punishing, cruel sliver of hope that will never be. That's just mean, but fuck it, I don't care. They're trying to assume, or they're trying to state to you that women are putting their fertility on hold. No, they're not putting on hold. When it's over, it's over. You can spend an ass load of money at a very small chance of success and a very large chance of birth defects, injury, and death to you or the children. And that's pretty fucking selfish. This woman, Geeta Narground from the UK, she basically, when it comes to starting a family, it seems there is now a social problem with these women finding men at the same level of education. Again, this is another doctor mentioning monkey branching, which is going to be their downfall. Because they're jumping these fucking branches, and they get to the top, and there's nowhere left to go. It's over. They got to go down and get with something lesser than them. And you men don't fall for that, because you're fucking disposable and you're expendable, and you'll wind up paying out your ass and having a life of nothing but misery and fucking heartache. And at best, you'll be like me and watch your kids grow up and fast forward. Okay, here we go. The shaming language. Professor Adam Balin, president of British Fertility Society, said, "We are seeing some big social issues, in particular in some social economic groups, with young men not committing." Shaming language. How about young men discovering it's a fucking fucked up rigged game and they're not playing it anymore? How about that? How about men are capable of logic and reason, and they're like, yeah, this is fucked up. Stick your head in the guillotine. I dare you. Here we go. 1 in 5 women in the UK is now childless by the end of their fertile life, compared to 1 in 10 just a generation ago. There you go. Hopefully we can get that to 1 in 2 or 1 in 1, and we'll just fucking end this shit. All right, they're going on with numbers in the education, blah, blah, blah. Basically now, it's 2/3 women graduating from college and 1/3 men, and that seems like it's going down even further. I can see it in the very near future, in the 5 to 8 years, being 75-25, and that's going to be an absolute travesty. I just can't wait to watch that shit fucking unfold. The gender gap for higher education is now as large as that between rich and poor people, which was described as a worrying inequality by former UCAS Chief Executive Mary Kernock cook. Okay, well, when that gap gets real bad, that means people are going to get so pissed off that they're probably going to take to the streets and take up arms, and it'll be a bloodbath, which, in my opinion, probably needs to happen. The inequality and the straight up corruption and the destruction of of half the population in the eyes of the culture that deserves nothing less, in my opinion. Let's see. British fertility experts have said the Gulf is terrifying. Oh yeah, you think it's terrifying now? Just you fucking wait. Okay, again, more of this fucking shaming language, telling men that they don't want to settle down, and it's their fucking fault. Again, it's not men's fault. The system is fucking broken. Holy shit, I can't believe they can't see this. So basically, these women are freezing their eggs so maybe they'll feel better, to give themselves a spark of hope that they'll have children down the road. But after 38, getting that shit to stick, the sandwich bag is all fucked up, pretty fucking hard. Here we go. Typically, it costs $10,000 to freeze eggs and keep them in storage for 10 years in the UK. That's pounds, so it's probably $15,000 in America. So 10,000 pounds, 15,000 American. You know, I don't know what the exact exchange rate, but that's what it was a few years ago, and I haven't been keeping up on it. In my opinion, my answer to this is this. Let the bitches pay for the agony of extended hope. Yeah, that's what they do to us dudes. They take away our hope and they take away our kids. Oh, you better keep working. Oh, you can't live in a house? Live in your car. How do I know this? Because it fucking happened to me. Cry me a fucking river. Get over it. Redonkulas.com. Alright, so they're basically trying to say that women just aren't really aware of their biological clock. Well, yes and no. They pretty much know this when they get out of high school because they tell you it straight up in sexual education. But then they're basically brainwashed by these feminists or the feminazis out there, the feminist culture, that you can put it off until you're 40, it'll be okay. No, it won't. You're being lied to by feminism, and you women out there should get pissed the fuck off. Okay, here we go. Almost all the women in the study who employed eggs freezing were heterosexual and wanted to become married mothers. Good luck with that, you monkey branching hoovers. Research found women lamenting the missing men in their lives, viewing egg freezing as a way to buy time while in the continued online search for a committed partner. Okay, right. Let's see. They accuse you of rape and you're guilty until you're guilty. Yes means yes. You get fucked in court, you lose your kids, you pay child support, you lose half your shit, and your married may not have to pay alimony for the rest of your life. And you're wondering why men don't want to play the game. And I can't blame them. Now listen, both men and women, we have eons, millions of years of instinct driving us to do this. In the past, men have marched into gunfire, fought to the death, been maimed, killed, tortured, risked everything so they could get with a woman, be married, and, have their shot at, having kids and passing on their lineage. And with that being said, how fucking bad does the system have to be where men are turning their nose and back on millions of years of evolution, eons of instinct, and so forth? That's really fucking bad on the behalf of women and feminism. Holy fucking shit. Just think about that for a moment. Wow. Just fucking wow. Okay, basically goes on to say that this egg freezing, quote unquote, isn't a postponing. It's more of a mark of desperation in preserving their fertility beyond the natural end of the reproductive years. Okay, like I said before, they can have the best eggs in the world, but if the sandwich bag is fucked, it's not gonna fucking happen. All right. Well, that's me covering this. It's from the Telegraph from the UK. You know, I just read this and it just stunk of blaming, shaming, and a bunch of fucking excuses for the injustice that feminism has wrought upon both the male species, the male portion of the species, and the female portion of the species. So congratulations, feminism. I hope to God you keep fucking doing stupid shit like this so the world will wake up to your stupidity. Anyway, that's Terrence Popp. I gotta try to get some sleep. Talk to you later. Out.